Hey everybody, welcome. How are you? I just washed my hair, so it's still air drying. It's looking a little fluffy. So Neo Tarot just released a video. She did another tarot reading on Foodie, and I haven't watched it yet all the way through. I just peeked at for a couple of minutes, but I wanted to do things differently this time because I wanted to watch it fresh the first time and just get the messages as they come through to me at the same time that Neo Tarot is getting her messages. So I want to do things that way rather than watch the video all the way through and then go back and react to it. Just get the messages as soon as I get them and put them out with her video. And I encourage everyone to check out Neo Tarot's channel and all of her content. She has done stuff on Foodie, on Salah, on singers, celebrities, very awesome, interesting content. And I love her delivery when she does the tarot. She's a lot quicker than I am. She's fast, she's fiery, she's sassy, she's classy. And we love that over here. So I wanted to give my thoughts on her reading. So why don't we just get into it? So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Let me go ahead and bring up Neo Tarot. And I'll leave a link for her original video in the video description for those who might want to check her out. And again, I totally encourage that. So let's get to, shall we?
Intuitive message or Foodie Beauty. This reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes. Sometimes the tea is hot and sometimes it's not. You have to watch the video to the end to determine for yourself. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're always here, welcome back, friend. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, so I was collecting the decks, and this is really interesting because I was collecting more decks than I typically do, but I was just, following the intuition and following the download, trying to hear these messages. One message that was screaming is deception, deception, deception. So it might be a reoccurring theme in this reading, but it was saying deception. Okay, so Spirit is acknowledging that in the area of the of communication, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, passion, there's this energy of her stomping into this water, creating this ripple, creating this what I want to feel like turbulence. Thank you, Spirit. Is creating a reflection. Hey. Thank you, Spirit. And every time it creates a reflection, the silver lining is for her to see how she got into this space. It feels like energy, source, universe keeps wanting her to acknowledge her role, her part, take accountability and responsibility for why she is stomping, why she is so upset, why this is creating a lot of emotion within her life. Spirit is acknowledging that this has to do with a karmic relationship, star-crossed lovers.
I'm sorry to stop you, Neo. I always hate to stop you. I'm a polite person. I don't like to interrupt people, especially when they've got something important to say. But I'm just going to give the message as it's coming through to me. I agree with everything you're saying. I think this relationship with her and Salah is a karmic relationship. I've said in some of my React videos and also in my tarot readings that sometimes the people that we meet in life, they're not supposed to be your lifelong partner in a romantic sense. Sometimes they're life lessons. Sometimes life lessons can come in the form of people, just things you're supposed to learn to grow in spirit, to grow mentally, emotionally, physically. They are lessons. And I think that Salah is a collection of lessons for her, as well as her being a collection of lessons for him. So the message, the picture I'm getting in my head right now, the stomping around the water, I keep seeing a picture in my head of her stomping around in front of Salah, wanting what she wants. Like I keep seeing that. It's so strong. Of I'm going to get what I want and you better give me my way, like throwing a temper tantrum. I want attention. I want your attention. I want you around more. So you better give me what I want. Like I literally see her in my head throwing a temper tantrum. And recently, in her recent video, she's talking about a bedbound art. She's very proud of that. And I feel, my opinion, that she's acting like she's in pain to get more attention from Salah, to have an excuse for him to wait more upon her and to have him there more. I don't think he's been giving her a lot of attention lately. So when she needs attention, she gets negative attention. She will say that she's in pain. She will say that she needs help. just to have an excuse for someone to give her more attention, to kind of force them to give her more attention. Sorry to interrupt. Let's keep going.
It's not meant to be. You need to learn this lesson and then you can move on. But it doesn't mean that the karma does not follow you, because karma will catch up with you. It's inevitable. It's a part of the frequency of getting what you deserve. That's just the energy, okay? Spirit is saying that there's something that she keeps trying and trying and trying subconsciously in regards to this karmic relationship. The star-crossed lover's energy. She keeps trying. Cats have 9 lives. She keeps trying. She keeps trying. Focusing on faith, receptivity, a solution, and having a breakthrough. The Spirit said, if that ain't truth, quit saying groceries. This card for me lets me know that the deck is tired. Like the deck is like, I don't want you to ask me or pull on it.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing, Neo, because you just started pulling those cards out of that deck, and the deck's already tired. That deck is saying, girl, there's nothing we can do here. We're tired. 3 cards, and it's already done. It's tired. It's saying, move along now. I'm sorry. I think that's funny. Sometimes it doesn't take long for a deck to get tired. Sometimes it does. I guess it all depends on the energy and the subject. But that deck is already tired of Foodie. I think that's hilarious.
This energy anymore. Just sit back and watch what I say to come into fruition, to come true. Okay. So believe it, trustworthiness, watch for signs, intuition, lucidity, the real deal. Okay. So Foodie Beauty, current energy. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit has 2 cards. Insta stalking. Someone has really been stalking your social media. This could be a fan, a friend, or an ex-lover.
Mm-hmm.
And Spirit said this has to do with intimacy. You may be in need of some intimacy in your life. Someone could be thinking about you in an intimate way, or vice versa. You may also be in an intimate relationship with someone for the first time. What? So,
Okay, I can give some insight on that, Neo. So before Salah, Chantal was involved with a person named Natter, heavily involved with him. She was as obsessed with him as she is now Salah. The difference between Natter and Salah is that Natter actually gave Chantal physical intimacy. Hence, part of the reason why she became obsessed with him. Like, he would actually go the distance that way with her. Lately, Natter's been talking about her. Like, he won't stop talking about her on his YouTube channel. Even though she's not physically there, she's thousands of miles away, he still keeps talking about her. And if you want my opinion, I think they are very much still in contact. On her recent trip back to Canada, it was revealed that Natter got $500 in new groceries. And that was something that Chantal did. She often bought him groceries in the past when they were publicly involved. She bought him groceries, she bought him gifts. So she came back to Canada, and although she swears she's not talking to Natter, I think she is. I think she's doing it on the down low. She might be doing it away from Salah, because if Salah finds out that there's another sugar baby in the picture, getting some of that money, he's not going to be too happy. But Natter was the one, he was the first one that she got really wrapped around. And I don't think that ever completely quit. I think it got put on the back burner, on low heat, but that dish never got completely cold. So if Natter was the one to give her true intimacy, of course, she's going to want to keep in contact with him. If Salah isn't doing it for her physically, there's a part of her that's still going to want that to some degree. And she's going to keep in contact with the person who gave it to her. So my thought is it's got to be Natter. She's focused on him. She still talks about him to this day. He's still focused on her. He's talking about her to this day. They're still focused on each other.
Insta stalking is going to lead to intimacy. Sending you love and light. Current energy for Chantel. Okay, right. Thank you, Spirit. The name just kind of resonated just there. I was gonna say Foodie Beauty. It says Chantal, Chantel. What does she need to hear? Moving in love and light. Spiritual partnership. This card indicates a time when a significant spiritual relationship is about to be forged. Perhaps it comes in the form of a friendship between like-minded souls or a similar journey toward enlightenment, or maybe it's a master-disciple relationship where an important individual enters your life. The saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Feels like someone is coming into your life or wanting to come into your life based on your requests. So pay attention to the speakers, teachers, authors who are teaching things to you.
Hey.
They're wanting to come through and teach you respect. Be on the lookout for people on a journey similar to your own and embrace the opportunity to enhance your spiritual growth. It feels like, thank you, Spirit, ancestors, divine energy. They're trying to bring someone to assist you because you need assistance. And they're going to try to help you figure this out. So Spirit is acknowledging to be open to this guidance, to be open to what you are hearing, to what you are feeling, to what you are seeing, because they're coming to aid. Why is it saying aid and obstruct? Is that the, oh my God. The Spirit said that this has to do with aid and abet. Aid and abet.
Ooh.
OMG. Aid and abetting. Aiding and abetting. What? Okay. All right. Foodie Beauty.
Well, that doesn't sound good. It started off good. It's spiritual partnership. Somebody's going to be your mentor, and then aiding and abetting. That does not sound good at all.
Current energy. That advisor is coming because there's going to be energy around aiding and abetting.
Does that have to do with justice? Because the last readings I've done with Foodie, the justice card kept coming up, coming up, coming up. And I don't know what that's in reference to. That could mean anything. That could mean karmic justice. That could be legal justice. It could be an authority figure. So I don't know what that means. If somebody might step forward and say, you're going to cut out this nonsense, you ain't got no choice. Or someone might be helping her, but I guess we'll find out later, won't we?
Thank you, Spirit. Okay.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
All right. So let's talk about these cards that are face down. Spirit says someone feels very alone. She feels very alone, dealing with barriers, loss, brutal. This is very difficult, and it feels endless with desert and reverse. This has to do with her relationship that she makes come off very flavorful and sweet and pleasant and expensive. And someone is running and chasing. There's going to be separation, but there's also an energy of obsession with a twin flame in reverse, because this is not your twin flame. Spirit is acknowledging that someone wants someone. I'm assuming this is gosh, what's his name? Oh, what's his name?
Salah.
I'm assuming that this is Salah for her. Accepting bad behavior.
Okay, here's the message coming through right now, Neo. Wanting what you can't have. The more she can't have something, the more she wants it. Even if she knows it's out of her reach, it's not meant for her. She wants it even more just because of that. She's always been that way, wanting what she can't have. If somebody tells her, you can't have this, she looks at that as a challenge. Like, oh yeah, you're going to tell me I can't have it? Watch this, I'll get it anyway. Even if it's bad for her, she wants it. So Salah is clearly not the one for her. He's a run around, play around. He doesn't want her birthday cake. He wants everybody else's. He wants a piece of everybody's cake. And she knows this. She's fully aware. But she still is lying to herself, thinking that some way, somehow, she can break him down, make him surrender to be in a relationship with her. She's deluding herself into thinking, if I just give him a certain amount of money, or if I put enough pressure on him or something, he's going to break. And I will get my way, because that's the pattern that she's always had with men. She'll approach a man, the man won't like her, but then she'll stay around long enough, do enough things to where they just give in to her. And the last couple of men that she's been with, Natter, Salah, she had that way of thinking and it did not pan out. She tried so hard to get control of Natter. She spent thousands of dollars on this man. She bought him gifts. She took him on expensive trips and stayed in hotels in Montreal when she had that big money. She just did not get the message. You can't buy people, and you can't buy real love and real feelings. She thought that her money would just excuse all of her bad traits. So she went through it with Natter, did not get Natter. So she tried again with Salah. That hasn't worked out either. She just, she's not learning the lesson. So she's repeating it. She's repeating it. Rather than learning the lesson, she keeps repeating the lesson. And she's in a situation now where she is so unhappy. But the most important thing for Chantal is saving face on the internet. The smartest, most logical thing to do would be just to be truthful with herself and say to him, this ain't working. Let's just cut this off. I'll go my way. You go your way. We tried for a year. Even on a business level, this is not working for either of us. I'll go back home to Canada and I'll start over. But she's not about doing the logical, smart, sensible thing. She's all about doing the disobedient, defiant thing. Like, it shoots her in the foot every single time. She is her own worst enemy. She gets in her own way. All the time it happens. All because she does not want to admit when she's wrong or when she's done wrong. She doesn't have a big enough throat to swallow that gigantic pride of hers, that ego. Her own ego is her worst enemy.
Toxicity and insecurity, him wanting for her to accept his toxicity, his bad behavior, his insecurity, and or vice versa. Spirit is acknowledging that he's coming off very immature and childish and defensive, foolish, and juvenile. But again, it feels like this is very layered. It feels like this could be him, this could be her, this
could be both.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit is acknowledging that this is because there's a public knowledge of a violation and an unkept promise with the lock and key in reverse. And now this is sending this relationship or this energy of going from rags to riches to a lack mentality, scarcity, and beginning phases. Things aren't like they used to. The money ain't rolling in like it once was. Spirit said time heals all wounds, and to trust the synchronicities and focus forward on healing and divine timing. But Spirit is also acknowledging that there are some major health issues. There's some focusing on like getting some attention to the heart, being happy. Maybe somebody is depressed, getting in alignment. I see rainbows. Spirit said healthy eating habits, going to see a nurse or a doctor, focusing on exercise, and in getting into like really learning about your medical history. Okay.
You know, it's really interesting, Neil, that every time you do a reading on Fraudy, the health card pops up. It seems like the spiritual world is telling her you need to focus on your health. There are also a lot of cards relating to self-love and self-care. Really, those are important things that she should be focusing on. She's focusing on the wrong things. Just giving away or selling what she should keep for herself and use for herself. But always the cards popping up in your readings about health and self-love and self-care. The spiritual world is screaming at her, take care of yourself. Stop focusing on these foolish men. Focus on you. She don't want to hear it. She doesn't care as much about herself as she does her public image. And the public image that she tries to sell to people is, I've got a man, he's younger, he's attractive, that's all that matters. Well, from the sound of your reading, the less money she makes, the more irritated he is with her, the less patience he has with her, the tolerance. Another good word that's popping up. Tolerance. He was able to tolerate her for a while because whatever irritation she passed at him, he could almost justify it and look past it by saying, "Oh, I'm getting X amount of money per month." So the money makes all this irritation with her worth it. But the less she's able to give him, the more he's looking at the situation and saying, "The juice ain't worth the squeeze no more." And that gives him more freedom to run around and be a play around, which is leading to her being more unhappy, which is also leading to, in my opinion, her getting desperate and acting like a toddler and throwing temper tantrums and trying to think of little sneaky, manipulative ways to get him to spend more time with her, like pretending to be more sick than what she actually is, pretending to be in physical pain. So he's almost forced to be there for her, give her food, take her to the hospital, massage her back, whatever. She's desperate for that attention from him. And the thing is, he don't want to give it. And if you force someone through manipulation to give you attention or to touch you, there's going to be a high level of anger and resentment. The longer it goes on, the more resentful they're going to become. The angrier they're going to be. Like, why are you making me touch you? Why are you making me spend time with you? They're not going to be happy about it. They're not going to forget about it either.
Spirit said there's something else in the middle of the deck. Uh-oh. Okay. Fitness. Again, it keeps talking about fitness. Cosmetic surgery. Has she been talking about that? And body modifications. Just unhappy with that. Wanting to leave because of this. Or separation, endings, and divorce because of the body. Interesting. Because of... Spirit said, yeah, leaving and separation would allow her to have a detox from the situation. And this is going to be the T too, but it feels like you can't, like, there's this energy of wanting to fix your body, wanting to focus on body, wanting to focus on body modifications. And because either it works or it doesn't work, someone is going to leave feeling like there's a separation ending and a divorce, walking away with the flowers on the ground. Flowers make me feel like love. So it feels like whether you make these changes or not, this is going to end. And it is going to...
Yeah, it is going to end. I think the body modification card that you pulled, it has to do with her talking occasionally about weight loss surgery. She keeps bringing that up, although given the fact that she's got a very severe addiction to food, no surgeon would ever operate on her with that going on. She wants to have the surgery, I guess, the lap band or stomach stapling, but there's a whole process she got to go through in order to get that surgery. But one of the key elements they look at is, do you have an active, raging, out of control issue with food that once we do this surgery, it's still going to be ongoing? And that might lead to problems such as if you eat more than a cup of food, you're going to make yourself physically sick over and over and over again. And if that doesn't happen, you might rupture your stomach. Once the stomach is cut down to a certain size, you can only put so much in it. So Chantal's always been about shortcuts. She creates long-term problems for herself, which require long-term solutions and lifestyle changes. But she creates these long-term problems, but looking for the shortcuts later to try to fix them, because she's very impatient, is Chantal. Very impatient. She wants change and she wants it now. So to get the weight loss surgery would require doing a lot, showing significant weight loss, showing the doctors a pattern of weight loss, showing a journal where she's correcting her diet. Her getting on the scale and continuously losing weight, going on a 2-week liquid diet, because when you get that surgery, you can't have your bowels full of waste. There's so much. She doesn't understand that even after the surgery, your life is forever changed. You can't eat some of the same things. Goodbye soda. Can't drink that no more. Even after the surgery, you got to keep up with it. You got to take care of yourself. So even if she got the surgery at the current weight that she is at, it would take a good perhaps year or 2 years to get down to say the 300s, because she's in the 500s right now. Salah's not going to wait that long for her body to change. Even after she got the surgery, let's just say she got down to say the 200s, she would need skin removal surgery. So a lot of work would have to be done to fix some of the damage that she's done to herself. And does she have that time to wait with Salah? Does she have that kind of money to fix herself? It doesn't really look like it. So that's why she's struggling to find that quick fix, that quick fix, that quick fix. But there is none. If you do long-term damage to yourself, it takes a long time to fix the damage. And that can only happen if you commit to the change. The more severe the damage, the more severe the change has to be, just to get yourself back to normal. So nothing is going to fix this. Nothing is going to save this quote unquote marriage. It wasn't a real marriage to begin with. It was a marriage of financial convenience and financial agreements. It was a situationship, not a relationship.
To be the T. Thank you, Spirit. All right, Foodie Beauty. What's the T? Somebody's doing some Netflixing and chilling. Tickets for 2. They got a movie date. And this is going to make her feel like she is dealing with depression. Once she finds this out, there's going to be some investigating, looking deeper into this energy. And someone said that they know they fucked up because they've been getting a hotel room, hotel, motel for business.
Chantal, when you gonna learn? He's a play around, run around. Always has been, always will be. Every single reading that I do and Neo does, there's always that other woman. Women. He's got more than one. Women. That boy is running around sampling everything in the candy shop. He's trying all the sweets. Girl, you are setting yourself up for misery being with a man like this. Why are you trying to hold on to something that don't want to be held on to? He don't want to be held. He wants to run. He wants his freedom. You know what? I honestly, Nia, I think she knows. I think she has to know he's a runaround, but she tries to block it out of her head. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I know what's going on. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't want to think about it, but yet she does think about it. And it creates a sort of panic in her head. Manic mode. I'm getting manic mode. Like, it just makes her frenzied, rabid almost. Like when you know about something, you're not happy with it. You're trying to find a comfort level with, but there is no comfort level. It's making you very uncomfortable. It's making you stressed out. She's been self-soothing with food. She's going ham with the food these days, which is making her problem with food worse. I mean, it's just a cycle of misery. And the only way to break that cycle, to fix that wheel, is to break that wheel. You can't keep letting it stay on the cart no more. You got to get rid of it. It's rotten. But I don't doubt that he's getting a room. I don't doubt that he's talking to other women. If he doesn't want Foodie, he's young. He wants to get busy with other people. And in the beginning, when they first started seeing each other, he told her, you need to lose 200 pounds. He told her that on a live stream publicly. Imagine you're playing the part of somebody's husband. You are a paid for actor in somebody else's play, and telling the person who put this play together that they're pretending to be your wife, telling them publicly in front of everybody, you need to lose 200 pounds. They're saying without saying, You're too big for me. I'm not attracted to that. The humiliation and embarrassment of it all. So she heard the message from him that he likes smaller women. And instead of letting that motivate her to exercise and get in better shape, to maybe he might spend some time with her, she went the opposite way. So what's he going to do? He's going to go run around and play around with women who are his type.
Business and or pleasure. They acknowledging like I don't really hate you, but it also feels like I don't really love you like that. You know what I'm saying? This is going to make her feel like she is falling apart, falling into pieces, all torn up. She's not going to want to hear it. Thank you, Spirit. She's like, I'm very busy right now. I can't take another heartbreak. Okay. And she's also acknowledging she has a lot of haters subconsciously in her energy field. Spirit said there's something in the middle of the deck. See, somebody's going to the sex shop. Somebody is getting a little freaky, okay?
What? Stop! I can't. What? No. Salah, 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 sir. Sir, you got secrets, don't you? Freak. You got that freaky deaky side, don't you, sir? Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Like the last reading you did, Neo, remember one of the cards? Like he's into fulfilling his fantasies. Now you're saying he's going to this. What is going on? I can't with all of this. He's over there being a play around, run around, fulfilling all his fantasies. At the same time, the person who's paying for all these fantasies, the one who's funding his lifestyle, she's in the most misery. And the hater card, I feel, has to do with people on the internet, the reactors, the reaction community. We've been telling her that he is a runaround, play around, that he does not love her. We've been screaming the truth at her. She just don't want to hear it. She stops up her ears. And even if we're not saying it, the spiritual world is trying to tell her through means of negative feelings about the whole thing. Like they're trying to give their own road signs. She don't want to see those either. She don't. Like the signs are in front of her, they're above her, they're below her. She can't turn around without a sign being right there in her face. She don't want to see it. She blocks it all out. She blocks out the obvious. She blocks out the truth. Just because she doesn't want to admit that she made a serious error in judgment, that she's with another person who doesn't care about her, that all of her dreams of the lustful life with this man are just never going to happen. She don't want to admit that she did wrong again. Her pride is in her way.
Going to the sex shop and they doing what they do when they get what they get when you go to the sex shop. Okay. I don't think I gotta elaborate more into that. But Spirit said you already know the tea. Like this is not new tea. This is old tea.
You know, there's something to be said about a woman's intuition. I don't know about what it is to be a man. The gentleman in my audience can speak up and tell me, is there such a thing as a man's intuition? I'm only a woman, so I can speak from a woman's point of view only. But there is that women's intuition. And if you are tapped into your intuition knows. You know when something's going on. You feel when something's up. She's a woman. I know her intuition's been bugging her. I know it's been talking to her. She may never admit to the conversation, but it's been talking. She knows what's up. She's just choosing to ignore. But that voice has been in her head.
Y'all already know that. That's what Spirit say. Y'all already know.
Yep, you know.
All right, Salah and Fraudy Beauty. There's deception and lies in this relationship. Somebody's a snake subconsciously because they're getting their deepest desires fulfilled. And there's a lot of red flags on this relationship. They need to stop but they're not because somebody is getting that tender touch.
I'm getting that message coming through right now, Neo, that I think he's only keeping Foodie around for her to pay for the basic things like food and rent and groceries. Like she's taking care of the domestic needs, the domestic costs, if that makes sense. Like you stay in the apartment, you pay your rent, you pay my rent, you pay for the groceries, you pay the bills, so that I have more time and energy and space to go off and be a playboy. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's why, but that is why he's keeping her around. Because without her there, he would have to go out and work. He would have to make his own way. But as long as she is there paying for everything, he's got more time to fulfill his fantasies, all of his deepest, darkest fantasies. I keep getting the words fantasy tour. He's he's on a quest to fulfill all of his fantasies. As long as Foodie is there to take care of things, pay for things, he is on a quest to find people, do things that revolve around his deepest, darkest fantasies. She's essentially paying for them, like giving him the free time and the money and the power to do so. Like the whole thing that we saw with Kai Bella, all the text messages, I'm being told right now that was the tip of the iceberg. He never stopped after that. He just became more secretive about it. He learned how to hide it better. He thought he was being slick, putting those messages on, is it invisible mode? They disappear as soon as you leave the conversation. But Kybella outsmarted him by having another phone and recording all that stuff. So he never stopped. He just became more stealthy about it. So maybe he's seeking out people locally so he doesn't get caught. And he's spending a lot of time away from her doing precisely that.
They are partners in crime. So, and there's a lot of dominance in this relationship. Their relationship is slowly but surely, if it hasn't already, like to the people, it feels like this is romantic, but this was really a devised plan. And so they're just partners in crime. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Mm-hmm.
And there's dominance in this relationship. Who's dominating who? I don't know.
I think it's a combination of both, Neo. I think in some respects he dominates her. In other respects, she dominates him. I think they go back and forth. I'm feeling like a clashing of wills, like locking horns, almost like two rams will lock horns when they go to battle. Chantal will relent when there are issues that she doesn't have the upper hand. On the other hand, if she knows she can get control and she can pull rank, she does. Example, Salah could come at her if he gets mad, or if he doesn't get mad, and say something to Foodie like, hey, if you don't like it here, you can go back to Canada. Go on and go back to Canada. See if you can find another me. And that might scare her at the moment. That might make her feel anxious. On the other hand, if Chantal wants to indulge in food and he says no, she can always say, well, I'm the one making the money and I'm paying your bills and I'm paying your rent. So you got to do what I say or I'll cut you off. Like that's how they go back and forth. On issues where he can get the upper hand, he tries. On issues where she can get the upper hand, she tries. So there's like a power struggle going on there. I don't think any one person is completely dominant. They both have their strengths, but they also have their weaknesses. And I think, and this is the message coming through right now, I think they are both aware of each other's strength and weakness. They know when they can pull rank and when they can't. And since this is a business partnership, a business relationship, since there's still money involved, neither one of them are going to let go. Because honestly, Chantal doesn't have the money to go back to Canada. She doesn't have the money to start her own place. I think that's part of the reason why she went back to Kuwait to begin with. She didn't have enough money to get her own place, and get a 1 bedroom. She ran back to Kuwait because she already had an apartment there.
Shit. I don't know. All right. What is her ancestral team wanting to say to her? Chantal. Her ancestral team. Ancestor said things. I don't know why, but they're wanting me to really pay attention to this image. I see somebody like with brushes. Are they a painter? This card reminds.
Sorry to cut you off, Neo. I'm looking at this card. Here's my first impression of that card. Things. Chantal, in my opinion, the message I'm getting at least is that Chantal is too caught up in things, material things, money, possession. She is too focused on things. Her YouTube channel, subscribers, views, engagement, popularity. Her YouTube channel is her source of bragging and power. Things, money, that's a thing too. She's too caught up in things rather than here. Here, she needs to focus on here, because no amount of those things is going to fill the void inside of her. That's the part that she's not getting. You can surround yourself with things, but just because you surround yourself with things, it's none of them are going to make you happy. It is possible to be surrounded in beautiful things or even not beautiful things and be completely unhappy at the same time, and have that sense of spiritual not fulfillment. You feel empty, you feel hollow, you feel like something is missing. And if you are not tuned into your spirit, to the spiritual world, it might confuse you. You're wandering around the fog. You're like, what am I missing? What am I missing? I've got this, and this, but I'm missing something and I don't know what it is. What you're missing is spiritual fulfillment. All the things in the world are not going to fill up that space. So her preoccupation with things, with material things, with trying to treat people like things and try to own them and possess them and hold on to them, things like that obsession with things rather than herself. That's just the way I'm taking this card. I would like to hear your interpretation.
Reminds you that the acquisition of things is a short term gratification. Objects, no matter how shiny, can't replace inner emptiness, real connections, or a gnawing lack of warm and fuzzy. When in doubt, throw it out. Decluttering and donating actively change and raise the energy of a room and do wonders for people's psyche. Things. They're telling you to declutter and get rid of the things that serve you no purpose. And bring out.
And another thing, another thought that's popping in my head right now on the topic of things, Chantal, the decluttering. There are things in your mind. There are things up here. You got clutter up here, big time clutter up here. Things from your past. You got to clean that up. It just has to happen. As long as that space is full of clutter and dust and cobwebs and everything else, if it's filled to the brim with things you don't need, things that are not useful to you, you don't have any space for something new, something fresh, something positive. You got to make space for the right things. Take out all the old things. Get rid of them. If they're wasteful, if they're broken, they have no use. It's time to take out the mental, emotional trash. Put it in a garbage bag and throw it out. But yet, your mind, your soul is filled with unuseful things, broken things, dusty things. It's time to do some spring cleaning, girl.
Out the things that do. that you've been pushing back, holding away, something close, near, and dear to your heart. Okay. All right. So Spirit saying with the King of Cups, there is this energy of a father figure, a good husband, tolerant, calm, and caring. Well, this is a wrong decision. This makes you feel like you have memory loss as you forget. And this is also sending you in a lack of direction with the Ace of Swords.
Stop right there. Sorry. Sorry, Neo. It's interesting, the first card, the father energy. Chantal has described Salah as being almost fatherly. She's like, he's very protective of me. He takes care of everything. And that's something that a husband, a real husband, can do. But in my opinion, it's just me talking. Someone I've been reacting to Chantal for a while. I think she has a lot of past issues with her biological father. Like there's a sense of an abandonment and her trying to find almost fatherly traits in people that she makes her current partners. And that's a mistake because whoever your current partner is, they can never act as a father figure. They're not a father figure. There's something entirely different. So it feels like she's looking for an almost surrogate father figure in these present partners. She wants someone to take over, to take care of all the responsibilities so she doesn't have to worry about anything. She's looking fatherly love. She's looking for almost a fatherly love in men that are not her father. And because these men are not her father, they cannot give her that fatherly love. So she looks for that kind of love in these men. And because she's not finding it, there's a sense of not fulfillment, a sense of lacking, a sense of, I haven't found what I'm really looking for. But you're not going to find that kind of love in somebody other than your father, Chantal. That's where you're screwing up. And I think that's what the spirits are trying to tell you. You're looking for the wrong things in the wrong people. You're asking way too much of the people that you get with. You're putting too much on their shoulders. You are way too codependent. You're way too clingy. You're way too insecure. You're way too jealous. You've got too many issues. The spirits are saying you need to fix yourself rather than look for someone to fix you. Stop acting as the damsel in distress in a fairy tale, waiting for the knight on the white horse to come and rescue you. This is the really real world. In the really real world, a princess has to save herself sometimes.
Spirit is saying that you both are setting goals, trying to build a foundation. This is a young person. So is he younger than her? Because he's more goal oriented in this relationship than she is. He's setting goals. He's building a foundation. He's creating a plan when it comes to her. Okay. What is the energy around Salah and Foodie Beauty? Current energy. Thank you. Spirit said marrying for money, focusing on wealth and a thriving business. Pregnancy could be a manifestation, could be a pregnancy. But there's also a Five of Swords energy with these two: violence, defeat, self-sabotage, crime, fighting back. There's this Hermit energy, again, someone wanting to go into a spiritual solitude for spiritual enlightenment, to reflect. And Spirit said it's okay to be alone. Virgo energy, Earth sign energy. Spirit is also acknowledging with the Ace of Wands. They're trying to be very creative and fun and focusing on projects, manifesting. But this is the Fool energy, having to start over again, a new path, a new adventure, the self-discovery, taking a chance. We see baby footprints. We see a baby here. What is this energy? I think every time I read on her, there feels like there's a...
Okay, I think I have some insight on that too, Neo. So this is the pattern with Chantal. She stalls her engine for a while. Like she doesn't want it to just turn on the ignition and even turn the key. She'll stall. And then whoever she's with gets really frustrated with her. And they try to motivate her to take positive steps for her physical health, for her mental health, her emotional health. They try to motivate her to exercise. Recently, she's been doing walking videos. She did a few of those, although there wasn't much walking. So she did a few of those, but Chantal's pattern is that she will act like she cares for her health, in my opinion, as a way to stall whoever the person is from leaving, from being angry with her, from getting too frustrated. She will act like she cares for her health just to make them shut up for a minute. Like, oh yeah, okay, okay, I'll walk today. Let's go do a walking video. So they get off her case. But then something will quickly happen after that of, oh, I'm sick. Oh, my back hurts. That's what's going on right now. She's claiming that her back hurts. And because of that, she's got to be bedbound for a few days. So no real positive change happens because she is not first really committed to it. She will act like she's committed to it, but then she makes excuses to immediately stop whatever is going on, which leads to more frustration from the other person. They're trying to get her to get up and go. There's gas in the gas tank, but she's saying, nope, I don't even want to turn the key. I don't even want to turn the engine on. It's not even going to get warm with me. And it all goes back to the fact that she's very defiant. And if she doesn't want to do something, she's not going to do it. She may act like she's going to do it. She may talk about it, but she's not going to follow through with it. This is a pattern with her. Many people have tried in her life to motivate her and help her get healthy. Her ex-boyfriend, Bibi, Nader, Salah, every single man she gets with tries to help. And yet it goes nowhere. And then she wonders why those men get so frustrated, they end up leaving. They end up cutting things off. It's because they look at the situation, they look at her and say, there's nothing I can do here. Like I see her declining in health. I see the way she is, and there's nothing I can do to help her. So I had to preserve my mental health, my emotional health, my feelings, and to keep from feeling the hurt of watching what she's doing to herself, I have to pull myself away. And she gets mad about that. She gets mad about people just taking inventory and saying, there's nothing I can do here, so I got to walk away. If it's not what she wants them to do, she gets resentful, she gets spiteful, and she will punish people for doing what's best for them, even if it makes perfect sense. And she knows it makes perfect sense. She's resentful because it wasn't her decision. It's somebody else's decision, that they're making the right decision for themselves. She wants to be able to control the narrative and make decisions for other people. And she'll get mad if you look at your life and say, this is not good for me, I'm out. If she wants you there and you try to leave, she will threaten you, she will harass you, she will use her channel to bother you, her audience to bother you. She's a very wrathful, evil person, Neo.
Child trying to come through, or a manifestation. But there is an also energy of a metamorphosis, changing. Someone is going to change and want to start over. That is the download. Thank you, Spirit. What is Chantal's biggest obstacle? Current energy.
Herself.
Thank you, Spirit. Her biggest obstacle in reverse: no style, dependency, and working too hard. Subconsciously, with the Six of Swords, nowhere to go, delay, returning home is an obstacle. And then in the middle of the deck, a couple of cards want to come out with the Queen of Cups in reverse: blocked intuition, insecurity. Someone is unfaithful, be that her or her significant other. And then another obstacle is recklessness, lack of self-control, and excess with the Temperance card in reverse, creating a lot of depression, a lot of emotion.
So essentially, she's stuck. She's stuck. She put herself in a corner in a lot of ways, and she's stuck. But that was the path that she designed for herself, Neo. Like in the past, she was able to pivot out of tight corners. She's always done that. But every decision that she made led her to a tighter and tighter corner. And now she's in such a tight corner, she can't move. She has nowhere else to go. She has no one else that'll take her in, no one that will lend her money to go back to Canada. She is stuck. She's absolutely stuck and can't feel sorry for her. That's what she wanted for herself.
What's next for Chantal? Thank you. All right, Spirit is acknowledging the death card, endings, moving on, spiritual transformation, sudden changes, new.
The Judgment card. What? I can't get away from that card, and neither can you. It keeps coming up. It and the death card too. That came up the last time I did a reading. The death card and the judgment card. Man, double whammy.
New beginnings of people. Something is coming to an end, be that figuratively, spiritually, physically. Something is coming to an end, okay? And this is going to give her a space of clarity, like an awakening. Remember, Spirit keeps saying that there's something that's coming, aiding and abetting, an instructor, a teacher, a resource coming to help her. Because when the student, when the student appears, when a student is ready, the teacher appears. That's the saying. Okay, so this is going to give her an energy of clarity, self-awareness, bringing balance and awakening. Like, are you waking her up? Really? Problem solving and a final decision. This reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes. Now we sit back and let the universe do what the universe does.
That's a really great reading, Neo. And regarding the last part of your reading, I'm going to take a wild guess in the dark. Then I react to Chantal. She is the kind of person, she doesn't listen to people and she doesn't change unless she absolutely has to. She's not one of those people that she learns easily. The lessons are never light. She's stubborn, she's hard headed, she's defiant, she thinks she knows more than everybody. It's going to take something pretty doggone powerful to make her open her eyes, to scare her straight a little bit and make her listen. I'm sensing a figure of authority, perhaps even something legal, like somebody that has more power than Foodie, somebody that can pull more rank than she does. Like I've been feeling like Salah's father he's going to get involved. I feel like that dad energy is in there. I don't know how much dad knows about the situation, how bad it is, how bad it's getting. But a parent's job is to protect their child. And although Salah is in his 30s, he's still a child of his father, is he not? So if you're a parent and you know that your son or your daughter is involved with somebody toxic and they're doing behaviors that could put not only your child at risk, but your family as well, wouldn't you step in? Wouldn't you say something? I would think so. So Salah's father is a very well-respected man in Kuwait. Uh, he might have some connections. Certainly somebody that people would listen to. I hope that dad gets involved because I think dad having a talking with her could set her straight. I don't know if he could do anything legally against Chantal, but if dad Salah got in front of her, I think she'd be shaking in her boots. I really do, like she did. If dad put his foot down, I don't know, she would not know what to do. So I don't know if it's dad or somebody above dad, maybe something legal. But if she had to deal with something in a situation where she could not manipulate her way out of it, lie her way out of it, and all the truth came crashing down to where she's like, I am not in control the way I thought I was, that might wake her up a little bit, but we will see. But a wonderful, great reading by Neo Tarot. Thank you for doing it. I'm going to post this later today. I just want to do this now because I've got things to do. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading by Neo Tarot. And please check out her channel. Look down below for the link in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care and take care of yourselves. Bye.